Welcome back to the Father of the Man podcast. It's been a while, but we're here. We're alive. We're podcasting. This is happening.
Yeah.
I'm your host. I'm one of your hosts, Wade Johnson.
I'm your host, one of your hosts, Derek Vachon.
And together we are the Father of the Man podcast. Today we have a great discussion, I think, about developing work ethic in your sons and developing a good, positive vision for the benefit and joy of work.
You had me at benefit.
The man of independent mind. He looks and laughs at all.
And we're back. Welcome back to the Father of the Man podcast. We are back after a bit of an absence, and it feels really good.
Yeah, I call it a break.
A break. We were on a break. That's a good word for it.
A lot's changed.
Yeah. What?
It's been what, 3 months?
Has it?
I think so.
No way.
Well,
2 months.
feels like that.
2 months. Anyway, it's been a bit, but
Well-
welcome back. Those of you who are still listening, congratulations
3 months.
on your wait being over.
Thank you for
Yeah.
your patience.
And shout out to Tyler Calabaugh, who basically reminded us that we had a podcast and was like, dude, record something. So thanks for motivating us, man. Appreciate it.
I was just going to say this is season 2.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, season
We
2.
planned this absence.
Welcome to season 2 of the Father of the Man podcast. Today, we are discussing leading sons in developing a love for work, a positive work ethic, and being hard workers. Right?
I think so.
Cool. So,
Do we want to...
Yeah.
I don't want to derail this
go do it.
mission.
What do you got?
Well, I was just thinking,
Yeah. That's
lots changed in the last few months.
Oh, okay.
You want
like-
to talk about?
Like what?
Well, I had some
Oh,
serious.
oh
life
yeah.
changes.
You share. And Derek, what's changed over
Thanks
the
for
last few
asking.
months for you?
Yeah. Well, first of all, I grew a mullet,
Yeah.
which is a direct result of not having any more grooming standards at work.
Derek Unleashed.
I got fired. No, I didn't get fired. But I'm no longer a cop.
Yeah, that's true. That is a big
so,
change.
yeah.
I just figured out what you were talking about. Sorry, man.
Sweet.
That is a huge change.
I don't want to make this the Derek show, though. But
It's you're
there's just some things I'm excited about.
you're a host.
That
That's
I
awesome.
wanted
Share
to,
it.
and people probably are maybe interested.
We're here for you, man. I'm interested. What do you got?
Thanks, buddy. So I'm no longer a cop, and that was of my own volition and
Yeah.
the Lord's providence. And I'm working for our good friend Caleb Engel.
Yeah.
Shout out Caleb,
Yeah, we
who has
interviewed
been
him.
on this show before.
Yeah.
Doing construction. So that's been
Yeah.
good.
Hardworking man.
And we had a baby, which is even cooler.
Oh yeah. That's a
Yeah.
big deal.
Yeah, a little birdie.
And you bought a house.
I bought a
over the
house.
last few months. Yeah.
that was
you got
all
a lot.
within about a month,
Yeah, I know. That was
which is
crazy.
nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Whole new
so
Derek.
I think we're all caught up to speed on the
Yeah.
whole new Derek. Anything new with you?
Yeah. No, not much.
Nice.
Yeah.
Right on.
Yeah. No.
For some reason, I picture that being more of a conversation.
Well, we could talk about it more if you want. It's all good.
Again,
I'm interested in your life, and
I'm interested in your life, but I don't know if these people are interested in our lives in that way.
yeah, fair enough.
I felt like due to the absence for 3 months,
Yeah, if you feel like
it would have been good to just be like, hey guys, this is what we've been like. We haven't just been spinning our wheels and not recording. We've been busy.
Yeah, yeah,
Is
yeah.
the-
yeah.
is the
Oh,
whole point of saying that is
got it.
stop judging us. We've been very busy.
Yeah, that is an important conversation to have. Good. Well, sweet man.
Yeah, yeah. So anyway, what are we talking about today?
Did we forget how to podcast?
Nope.
All right,
I
cool.
think we're doing great.
Yeah, me too. So, with that, let's talk about work.
Yeah,
You changed your work, so
leading
that's
our-
on topic.
kind of.
Yeah. So it's been okay. So I'll just kind of preface this a little bit. So
Please do.
I have we've encountered, like, my son's 11 now, and we've been encountering typical boyish resistance to schoolwork, work around the house, work in general. And so I've been working to address that. And I've been thinking about this topic a lot, and I think it's an important topic as we're talking about raising sons. I think it's a really important thing to instill in our sons. I mean, there's lots of people that have spoken on the importance of work and why developing a good work ethic. So we're just going to assume that we all agree that we obviously want to do this, right? We want to train our sons to be hard workers, to learn to love work and appreciate it and get joy out of it and satisfaction out of it. Work heartily as unto the Lord, and be just generally productive human beings and men, right? That's part of being a man, right?
Totally.
So
Yeah.
So talking about like how to kind of go about training that thing, training that boy, training that thing, and kind of casting a vision for it, but then also leading by example and all these things. So you mentioned,
Yes.
when we first kind of brought this up, the importance of modeling hard work being paramount. So would you like to speak on that? What do you got?
Well, I think the reason, I haven't thought about this a whole lot, but I think the basic reason, if you wanted to distill it down to like why is it so important for your sons to have a strong work ethic,
Yeah.
is so that they can succeed in life. Like it's
Yeah.
and daughters too,
Yeah.
but specifically sons, as they're the world changing men that go out there and lead and do things. If we don't instill that in them, they're going to be crippled. They're just going to be kind of stuck in a rut.
Yeah, well, and I think we're seeing that a lot. There's a lot of resistance to work in our culture right now, and
Yeah.
in the form of, anytime there's huge advances in technology, life gets easier in a lot of ways, and it's easier to be lazy, and especially even there's all these examples you could point to, but like even just the advent of AI and how that's affected schoolwork and kids' performance in schools, and like you could just have this thing write essays for you and stuff. There's a lot of abdicating, even in mental work, abdicating your responsibility to develop these skills and thinking skills and writing skills to just a computer. You can just have it think for you, basically.
Yeah.
So there's that, and then there's also just the classic time wasters of video games, all these different things, and the online world, social media, all this stuff. Like as people get more and more online, and as the younger generations are being raised in an environment where the online world is just a huge percentage of their reality for many of them, I think that's greatly undermining their impulse to go out and work and succeed and thrive. And
Well, it's modeling that comfort is the ultimate goal.
Yeah.
And that's not. It's a nice byproduct
Right.
of hard work.
Right.
Like you see the benefits of it.
Yeah.
And when you're not destitute because you actually work hard, you can enjoy, the life that you have. But
Right.
But that's been painted as the ultimate goal for everybody is comfort and personal happiness.
Yeah.
And there's so much more to it than that. And that's
Yeah.
But if you're modeling to the kids, hey, use all these easy resources and do the bare minimum effort and mental work, like you said, then you're going to just create someone who's like, oh, I just want dopamine and comfort all my life.
Right.
And they'll have the life that they want,
Right.
which is vastly inadequate.
Well, and it leads to misery and suffering, and it won't give them the life they think they want.
And exactly. And
Yeah.
it's not like just a helpful tool either. Like that's a dark path, like
Yeah.
you got, you mentioned AI, and then you have now AI porn, and
Right.
that's a crippler, like there's
Yeah.
all these things. It's like, it's not just, a tool misused. It's like, no, this is way beyond a tool. It's a destructive device that keeps children essentially.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree.
Not just AI, but just that whole mindset of, nope, your comfort is paramount and everything else falls by the wayside,
Yeah. Well, and that brings up a really excellent point about work, and that is, and this is something that I'm going to psychoanalyze myself here. So
Please do.
warning.
I will just listen.
Okay. So just, be my therapist for a second, please. No, I think it brings up something that's important to learn about work, and that is that there's value in work in and of itself. So obviously there's the outcome of your work, right? There's the money that comes from it. There's the whatever the outcome is, like depending on what you're working on, right? So there's the physical, there's the results of your work, right? And that is what I think as we're finding ways to make money that are, as we're leaning on government and whatever, like if you're, what I'm saying is, what I'm trying to say
You got
is,
this.
I got this, dude. Thank you. I feel like I'm giving birth to a thought and the contractions are too far apart.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're not quite dilated.
Right, exactly. So just let me push, okay?
Push.
Okay.
Well, don't push yet.
Okay. Yeah, no, I'm not ready. All right, no, here it goes.
Do you want an epidural?
Please.
Okay.
Comfort is paramount.
Men can't get pregnant.
Amen, brother.
All
so there's lots of nuggets of wisdom in here.
I agree.
Yeah. Okay. So with that, as we are able to, through technology and through the society we're in, and we're in a really opulent culture, America's quite wealthy.
Mm-hmm.
So with that, we're able to attain a level of comfort and ease that has been unprecedented in history, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like you're saying. So what happens if your goal is comfort and you can achieve that with minimal work? I think we start to lose the value of the work itself, right? Like there's value for you as a person in working. Like it benefits you. So in addition to the money, in addition to the outcome of your work, there's a personal benefit that you get from doing work, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that's what I'm trying to distill it down to and kind of get across. And I think you were speaking to that really well without giving birth. and that is that idea that there's a soul benefit, there's physical benefits, there's mental health benefits or whatever, what have you, from working. Like it's beneficial in and of itself. And what I was talking about with the psychoanalyzing myself is
that was not how you say that.
Yeah, whatever. What I was trying to say there.
Oh, that's how you say that. Sorry, go ahead.
Hey, whatever. What I was trying to get at was, I think it took me a long time to get that. And I think I saw work as a means to attain comfort as opposed to a benefit in and of itself and a life-giving thing for a man to do, right? And there's a difference between work and toil, right? Like that idea of work should be satisfying and should be life-giving to you. And toil is kind of the idea of, moving a pile of rocks back and forth, right? Like you're just
monotony.
You're monotony and repetition and aimlessness in your work, and it's just pointless. But the hell there isn't the work; it's the lack of aim. It's the lack of purpose. It's that, right?
Yep.
Okay. Thank you. All right.
No, that's good. Whew. Well, it's training. If you're not training the proper mindset on work, that bleeds into every element of your life. If comfort is the ultimate goal for work, comfort's also the ultimate goal for marriage. And marriage isn't comfortable. It's awesome.
Yeah.
But it's work.
Yeah.
And if you don't have a strong work ethic going into all facets of life, including things outside of work itself, then you're not going to be prepared to handle the hard stuff when it comes.
Yeah.
Like marriage. Like there's so many things about it that require a lot of diligence and effort and self-sacrifice. But if your mindset has always been from your being raised that, oh, I'm supposed to be comfortable and that's it.
Yeah.
Then that's going to bleed into how you treat your wife and how you treat your kids if you ever have them. And if you even want to have them, because that's not comfortable either. Like there's, it's just, it's a poison that kind of.
Yeah. And I think you're right to identify comfort as the, kind of as the enemy in this conversation. It's not that you should never be comfortable, but having it as a goal is certainly disordered, right? And it will lead to suffering. Like pursuing comfort as a goal leads to misery.
Well,
how's that?
Yeah. And again, with the advent of like modern crazy AI tech and stuff, it's like, it's much more comfortable to have an online virtual girlfriend than it is to have hard conversations with a woman. Like, you know what I mean? Like there's all these, and so, and you see that shift in society and culture. It's going toward that where it's like, nah, that's too hard. Let's do, like the new marriage contracts where it's like, hey, you can sign up for a 2-year marriage and see if you want to re-up.
That's
it's like, it's no longer for life. It's like, oh, you can just,
Yeah.
All the prenup mindset.
Talk about changing the definition of a word, right? Yeah. A 2-year marriage.
Yeah, you shouldn't do that.
There's all these oxymorons that get shoehorned into the culture because people want to change what the thing is,
Yep.
Like there's no such thing as a 2-year marriage, like definitionally. It's a contradiction in terms,
Yep.
Yeah. That's why it's important to be a little bit of a word nerd and pay attention to what things mean.
Words matter.
They do, because they convey ideas, and ideas also matter.
One of the ideas that popped into my head as you're talking about toil versus work, even if your job is toilsome and difficult, it's how you approach it. It's a mindset thing.
Yeah, it is.
Well, my wife was talking about, she's been reading this book that's really been helping her out. I can't remember the name of the book, but get yourself a copy.
That was a great book plug.
But she was feeling really encouraged because it's basically this lady's writing a book about, like, you know, as a wife, like running the household while, you know, husband's away or whatever.
Sure.
And she's like, yeah, the goal in cleaning and doing all the house chores and taking care of the kids and changing diapers, it's not to have the task accomplished. It's to reset so that you can continue raising your kid, living.
Yeah.
And so it doesn't go devolve into chaos. And it's the same thing. I was talking to her last night about this. I was like, yeah, it's kind of the same with work. Like I love my job. I love working with Caleb. I love doing the construction stuff and like the hard work.
He listens to this, so good job saying that.
Yeah, he's the best boss in the world. I got to get him one of those mugs.
He would be, honestly. Caleb's the man. Anyway.
No complaints so far.
Yeah.
My raise is coming up.
That's what I'm talking about.
Just kidding. But anyway, the point of that was to say that it's the same thing with working. Like, we're building a house right now, and soon that house is going to be built. And it's not like my work is now done.
Right.
It's like, okay, now I'm resetting to the next task.
Right.
You know, okay, now we're going to go do this other house or, you know, build this whatever. Like, what we're doing is the same general thing over and over and over, and it is hard.
Yeah.
And you know, your body takes a beating, but you also grow and you strengthen. And if you're approaching it right, you're not like just waiting for the weekend.
Well, you're becoming somebody through the work, right?
Yeah.
Like you're growing as a man every day that you apply yourself that way. You know? And you're working heartily as in the Lord. You're providing for your family, which is obviously a paramount thing.
Yeah.
And then and I even to with the toil thing, toil is super rare in America. like you know what I mean? Like it's not. I'm not saying like that the difference between work and toil is even enjoyment. It's more of a like it's lack of a vision or progression. So it's that idea of, I mean, it'd be like slavery really is what it is. It's like you're working for somebody else's dream.
Voluntary
you're not
slavery.
even and you're not getting ahead. You know, and I think a lot of people probably feel that way with their jobs. But again, I think like you said, it is a lot of that is mindset and realizing the truth of who you're becoming through it and the growth that's happening in you if you allow it to and you pay attention, and then also the life you're creating by providing for a family, and then obviously figure out how you can advance, figure out how you can develop more skills and improve your thing, and you know and work toward doing something that you are passionate about or whatever.
Well, that's it.
You know, that's great, but it's anyway, I don't know.
But that is a crucial element because work can easily be toil.
Yeah.
Even non like physically intensive work can become toil if your entire mindset is, you know, the socialist, you know, Marxist. Oh, I'm doing this for someone else. I'm building his empire. This sucks.
Right.
It's funny. I listen to the country music station, and
that is funny.
It is.
I'm
funny.
kidding.
It's hilarious.
That's awesome.
But there's so many songs. I heard one on the way over, and it's just, I don't know the names of these artists or songs, but there's so many songs where the main theme of the song is working hard with my blue collar buddies at this stupid job with a stupid boss just so we can get to the weekend and get drunk and then we do it all over again. And it's like, that's not like one song. It's like a ton of them.
Yeah.
And the whole mindset is like, yeah, this is our life. Like, we just do it. And if that's your mindset, great. You can just stay in that miserable, like, I can't wait for my beer, you know, like, or you can build and grow and start. You're working towards something.
Yeah.
And that's a strong work ethic. Again, applies to everything in your life. You're working towards something. You're not just saying, hey, this is something that'll make me kind of comfortable, so I'll just grind my teeth and deal with it. It's like, no, because that's how marriages fall apart, and that's how parenting falls apart. It's like, no, I'm working towards something better all the time. I'm stewarding things to become better. I'm not just I'm investing the talents, right? Like, I'm not just keeping this hidden and hoping someday it pays off. It's like, no, I'm going to take what I've been given to do, and I'm going to do it with aplomb and accomplish something so that I can actually elevate and grow in my life. Like, it's not selfish, it's just practical.
Yeah, no, that's really, really good, man. And it's biblical too. I mean, even just the idea of I might misquote it, and I don't know the address, the verse, but it says in Proverbs, it says, you see a man skilled in his work, he will serve before kings. He will not serve before mean men, or basically base men, you know, lamos. So that's and that's it, is that idea of like, as you grow in skill and as you develop, if you take that mindset and you invest in what you're doing, whatever it is, and do it with excellence and do it heartily as unto the Lord and have that abundance mindset, like, you will inevitably raise up, you know, and you'll end up serving before kings, and it's or even becoming a king in capitalist America.
Yeah.
But the other thing I was gonna say is just a side note. It's just funny to me with that theme in country music is like knowing when you're being pandered to, because the thought of a country music star singing that is really funny.
Yes.
Because it's basically like, hey, I know who my audience is and I know what your pain is, so I'm going to sing about that pain so that you can relate.
Yeah.
And they're sitting there like, you know, famous, presumably wealthy, like in the arts of all things. Like they're like the extreme opposite of a blue collar job. Like, like their job is to like go sing.
They wear like sequin jeans.
Right. Exactly. And they're sitting there like, hey man, isn't it tough? And you're like, bro, like it's just so disingenuous.
Well, it's Kevin Hart, you know, promoting gambling. You're like, dude, you're
right.
Just stop. Like,
dude,
like
right.
These people are already like on the rocks. Like, just leave them alone.
Right. Yeah. Pay attention to when you're being talked down to.
Yeah.
But anyway,
that goes hand in hand with the get rich quick, don't work hard for, you know, like the crypto world. It's like every young person now just wants to be a crypto investor. Not every young person, but
every single one.
Dude, it's the whole crypto mindset of like, oh, sweet. It's just a form of gambling where it's like, oh, I can get my millions this way. I just have to plug in my computer and, you know, just let this algorithm run and see if I can get, you know, lucky with this next investment coin. Like, and it's,
well, and it's get rich quick schemes have been around forever, and but it comes back to the mindset that you started with, which is that, oh, the point of work is to secure comfort so that I don't have to work. If the point of work is to be able to stop working, that's not that, like, then what? Again, that leads to misery, and that's the retirement lie, right? Of like, oh, I'm going to grind it out for 40 years and then I get to retire. And you see so many examples of people that just get miserable and die after they're retired, or they're living someone else's dream because they don't have one, and they're out there on the golf course. No offense if you actually love golfing and that's your dream, good for you, go golf, I guess, or whatever. But my point is that so many of these, like, okay, window washing, right? I had we ran a window washing business for my brother for a long time. It was legit. Dwight's Windows. Yeah.
Yep. I still have my polo shirt from that.
Yeah, we all did that. Yeah. But we watched a lot of windows in these really nice houses on golf courses, and it's really interesting to see, not to like throw these people under the bus. They've always been super successful. But you see that pattern of these guys who work their whole life doing whatever. They made their bag, or is that what the kids say these days? They got their bag.
Some of them say that. Yeah.
I need to stop trying to use Gen
that
Z
phrase
slang.
is goated.
Yeah, dude, stop. I hate it. Anyway, the point is that there's this sadness to these people because they don't even like golf that much. Like it's just what you do. You just get a house at the golf course, you know, like, and it feels just very much like it's almost like a form of toil at that point, because even though they've done well, it's like they didn't have their own dream, their own vision. They weren't following their own calling, and some of them probably were, but you just see a lot of unfortunate situations even in these so-called successful places, right?
Well, it's the dog chasing the car, and
yeah,
when he catches the car, it's like, what are you going to do with that thing?
Right, exactly. And so as opposed to, like, as a opposite of that, you see guys who work their entire lives, and yes, that work might change at a certain point from, you know, trying to get out of the rat race, so to speak, and they might be doing really well financially, but they're still working on things that they're passionate about, that they feel called to, and they're living out their vocation before the Lord, and they're just after it, and they tend to live longer, be happier, and they actually attain just a tremendous level of joy that you don't see in the people who just pursue work in order to stop working. And and that's what I was talking about with psychoanalyzing myself, is I really had that mindset growing up, and I don't want to, my dad is like and okay, so this kind of segues into what we talked about, what we brought up at the beginning, which is modeling a good work ethic for your sons. Okay. So on the positive side, I'll let you speak to the positives. Well, we've spoken to the positive side a lot, right?
I got some negatives.
Yeah, I do too. What are your negatives to model? What are things to look out for as negatives in modeling a good work ethic to your sons? Is that the right question to ask you?
What are the negative sides of?
You said you got some negatives, so what?
Oh, sorry, I was kind of on the previous chapter.
Okay. Where are we?
Well, okay. So your question is, what are some negative elements of modeling a good work ethic?
And I'm doing the thing where I'm asking you the question that I want to answer, and I thought that's what you were talking about?
No,
Okay.
I just.
All right, I'll go.
What
I'll
are some
go.
negatives
All
to
right, yeah.
modeling a good
Here's
work
some things
ethic?
to watch out for, and this is something that because my dad is the man, and he's the hardest. I literally my ringtone for him when he calls me is that country song, hard working man, or whatever. Like
Oh, Brooks and Dunn?
Yeah, I don't know, but yeah, it's that one. So like that is who I think of him as a hardworking man. Like he is worked harder than anybody I know. He's put in so many hours and done so much, and so he's modeled hard work amazingly well. And I don't want to throw him under the bus, but and because a lot of this has to do with me, like me not catching the vision, and like I'm blaming myself for not picking up on this. Okay, but one of the things that he would say that I misinterpreted is he would talk about how like you're gonna have to work your whole life, so you better learn to enjoy it. And there's a positive to that. I now see what he's saying, but I took that as almost a challenge of I heard the part where you're gonna have to work your whole life, and I was like, oh, am I?
Right.
And so I was so comfort focused that I was going, wait. I see people that don't have to work their whole lives. I see people that do get rich quick or get rich cleverly and more quickly than others. And so like to me that was almost a challenge of like, whoa, like I'm not buying into that.
Right.
And so it was, and again, it's semantics, but it stuck with me is that the whole you have to work your whole life, so you might as well enjoy it kind of thing was, I took it as a challenge to get out of work, right? And so as opposed to like, no, work is good for you and your soul and your life. And so you get to work like life is work, and and work is life-giving. So enjoy that, like enjoy life, like get into it.
Yes.
Find something to do that's productive, that creates.
Well, it's not aimless. Yeah.
Right. And so it just took me a long time to get that. And that's my own thick-headedness. But I would just say in modeling, in the modeling section of like the discussion, right?
Yeah.
Where you have, all right, the best thing we can do to teach our sons good work ethic, and this gets said a lot, and it's very true, is we need to model a good work ethic for our sons, right?
Yes.
Okay, so in that though, it's how you talk, how you speak about work, and how you speak about work around your kids is super important. I just want to highlight that because even if you're working really, really hard, if you're constantly talking about it negatively, like, oh, I have to go to work, have to, I don't want to, complaining, any sort of that gets picked up on by your kids. And for me, my dad was stressed a lot all the time, and he would speak very negatively because he was going through a lot, and I don't blame him.
Sure,
like it's hard. What he was doing was really hard. However, because of that, I saw work as this giant negative burden on his life that I was like, my lesson I took was like, I'm going to avoid that. Right. And so I guess what I'm saying is you can model really good work ethic, but how you speak about it is almost just as important. The idea of, and I need to be careful with this because part of it is I talk about when I tend to talk negatively about work, it's because I'm saying it to my kids because I have to leave to go do work and I'd rather be hanging out with them.
Right.
And so I'm like, no, I have to work. Like I gotta go. I'd rather be with you, but I gotta go do this.
Right.
And I just want to be careful with how I'm speaking about it because it's like, no. Like I'm called to do this. It's my honor to do this. It's my pleasure to do this. And I'm going to go do it. And then we're going to hang out later and it's going to be great. So I just wanted to speak to the language piece. Like, how are we talking about it in front of our kids?
Totally. No, I think that's wise. I think that was kind of a trap I was falling into with law enforcement.
Yeah.
Such a noble profession. Great. It's very necessary and good, but it takes a toll. It's very easy to fall into that trap of like, ugh, like this sucks.
Yeah. Well, you're dealing with so much negativity in that job all the time.
Yeah. But modeling it to the kids that way it's not doing anyone any favors because you're not showing them, hey, I'm working towards something. I'm working for my family. I'm working for you guys. It's like more like I have to do this because we need money to pay the mortgage. Like,
right.
It's like, and that's, I think that's super important. Like words obviously matter and the way we communicate, like you can say work is really good and important, but then if you're modeling how miserable you are the whole time, then they're not going to believe that. Like, like they will follow leadership in that. And if your leadership is, this sucks, get used to it, then that's where their mind's going to go.
Right. Well, and a lot of them are, especially in today's day and age, I think a lot of them are going to be like, even they're not going to hear this sucks, get used to it. They're going to go, this sucks, I'm going to try to get out of it. Right? Like they're like, I don't want to accept that. So, which is an understandable reaction, but yeah, so I think we've touched on like just the value, presenting the value of work itself, one, understanding it yourself, that it's valuable for you, it's valuable in general, and it's just life. Like it's a good thing. Work is a good thing. And having that mentality and modeling that mentality and speaking about it accordingly in front of your kids is a huge part of it. So when it comes down to, obviously, if you can involve your sons in your work at any point and work with them, I think I've seen tremendous examples of that, and I think that goes extremely well. Some jobs are way harder to do that than others. It's hard to be a cop with your son, or whatever, right? You could do ride-alongs at a certain age, I guess, but it's one of those things where I just want to encourage guys to be looking for opportunities to include sons in your work. And it's hard for me. Real estate isn't the easiest thing to include kids in. And I try to take them on showings, especially if I know the client really well or they're friends of the family or whatever. I try to bring my kids on showings every time I can.
Nice.
And I try to, and I'll occasionally kind of have them in the office and kind of show them what I'm doing, but it's not a lot they can help with, unfortunately, yet.
Well, that's the nice thing is like, because I think we've kind of made the point that work isn't career. That's part of work, but work is everything. And so you can also make work.
Yes.
Or you can, there's plenty of work outside of the job force that the kids can help with, so that's where it comes, like, to segue into like, hey, what can we do with our sons if they can't sell homes with us?
Right.
What can we do with them? Like there's so many things. How can we help mom around the house?
Yeah.
How can we take care of things that, while dad's at work, what can we do to be an asset at the house? Like how can we help daddy with projects on the weekend, that kind of thing. It's like, it's so easy when you get to the weekend, you're tired and say you want to, build something or whatever you want to, projects you want to work on. It's really easy to be like, I just need some alone time. Just need my quiet.
Yeah.
But so much more beneficial I've found to be like, hey, Henry, Freddie, come help me with this. You know, like let's work on this together. Let me teach you how I'm doing this, so that again, it's equipping them for future, the mindset of, hey, I have to work. I have to do these things. But also like, hey, I'm actually learning valuable skills along the way. Like,
oh, tons.
Like I think that is such an, for guys that can't include their kids in their work, like their career work, it's like, man, it's so easy. There's so many opportunities.
Yeah. There's tons, and that brings up something that I was thinking about, and that is at this age right now, like at 11, like everything I do is the coolest thing to Knightley, right? Mm-hmm. Like he thinks everything I do is so cool, like just because I'm doing it, right? Mm-hmm. And it's just such a tremendous opportunity at these formative ages to be intentional about that, because I can engage in laziness. I can engage in just comfort when I'm around him all the time. And he's going to think whatever that is super cool. Mm-hmm. Or I can, and there's times to play and there's times to do fun things and whatever, but including him in my work around the house and things I need to do anyway, it's just such a good time to make work fun and cool when they're having fun just because they're with you.
Totally.
And a big way to cultivate that is doing fun things with them too. Like that's part of why he thinks it's fun, is because he sees me as fun, which is great. And that's kind of comes back to Task Book Alpha and what we're trying to develop there, where it's like just doing things with your son and tying those heartstrings, right? Like getting close to him and being that cool guy in his life. It gives you this incredible influence that you already inherently have as his father, but then you're kind of even increasing that. And then when you apply that to work, it's going to attach positive associations.
Yes.
Right? So I think that's really big.
It teaches the opposite of the instant gratification mindset too. Yeah. Like the satisfaction of a job well done.
Yeah.
Like anything that's free is not satisfying.
Yeah.
Typically.
Yeah.
Other than the grace of God.
Yeah.
That's pretty satisfying.
It's very satisfying.
But, yeah, like, I mean, anything, if you work for something, if you build something, it's way more satisfying than just, buying it on Amazon or whatever, like even that cool loft bed you and Knightley built.
Yeah.
It's like, that thing's awesome. And you could have easily just bought one and had
Sure.
it, thrown up, but you went and took the time to do everything with him, and that's got to be way more satisfying to him.
Oh,
to
yeah.
have this thing that he had his hands in.
Well, and again, the value in work, like the whole process was so good. Like
Yeah.
it was so life giving. It was relationship building, and it was skill building, and it was all these things. And it's like, it's not only is it cheaper, but it's there's just so much benefit in the process of it. And so a big thing with working with your sons that I face is not your sons. What a big thing with working with my son.
How much are you paying them?
Yeah, I don't work with your sons that much. Is patience and perspective on realizing that, like, there's times when I'm like shocked at how unskilled he is at things, right? Which is like, dude, nobody's taught him. Like, why would he be good at that? Right. But it's stuff you take for granted. Like even just like wiping the kitchen table. Okay. Like just wipe down the kitchen table. And it's just like, it like gave me an ulcer watching him try to wipe the kitchen table because he's just smearing stuff around and it's just a total mess. And he's kind of frustrated and confused. And he's like, I guess I'm done. And it just looks terrible. And you're like, like it's so hard to watch. Yeah. But you realize, like, you can have that perspective, which isn't super helpful, or you could go, all right, nobody's taught you how to do this. Like, I'm going to, like, it's not taking the focus when you're working with your sons off of, let's get this done as quickly and efficiently as possible, which is obviously your normal mode because that's what you do all day is, like, try to do things as efficiently and quickly and effectively as possible, is switching that mindset of, like, no, I'm not wiping the table. The point isn't to get the table wiped. The point is to teach him to wipe a table. So like making that your task, right?
Yeah.
As like, no, like if I'm working with him and we have the time, it's like one, making the time to realize that it's like, all right, all I'm doing right now is teaching him this skill. And that helps a lot to shift that focus off of we're trying to clean the kitchen to I'm teaching my son to clean the kitchen.
Yeah.
And however long that takes is however long it takes. And it buys you some patience and some perspective to like invest in him and get him going. And then ultimately that will result in even more efficacy because then you could just be like, clean the kitchen. And you'll know he'll do it right. And it'll be good. You know, you can actually delegate things that way.
Yes.
But I think it's easy to be impatient if you're task focused as opposed to realizing your task is teaching. Right. And so anyway, that's just a thought.
Well, and on the teaching, it's teaching him how to do it. And then it's also teaching him why. Like, why is it important? I mean, who benefits from this? And like,
totally. Like
you're teaching him to be, you know, we're teaching our sons to be leaders and helpers and servants, you know, like that's the sacrificial. Hey, you're not just doing this because we've talked about this before. It's not like, hey, we just want to punish you and make you do something.
Right.
It's like, no, you're actually benefiting everybody by doing this, you know, and then you can take pride in your work because it has further reaching effects than just simply a clean table. Like,
right. Yeah, no, absolutely. And that ties in too with, I think it's something to be dubious of or not to be careful with is using chores as punishment. Like, I think that is a common practice. And I think it's something that you just want to watch because there's certain times I think it might be appropriate, but in the sense that, okay, so an example of that would be if they make an inordinate mess, like just like if they, you know, my son's pretty dang destructive and he'll want to take an old toy or something and just blow it up or whatever, which is great. I mean, that's a fine boyhood impulse. I can relate, whatever.
Sure.
But if he's blowing chunks of plastic all over the yard, it's like, okay, that's not even a punishment. It's just like a practical reality of like,
oh yeah,
dude, you have to pick up every single piece of plastic because we can't have plastic all over your yard.
Yep.
And so I think that's kind of a natural outflow, but using chores as a punishment for other misbehavior that's not related to the chore, I think is a good way to make your kids view work as punishment, right?
Yeah.
Like obviously because you're using
this thing sucks, go do it.
Right.
Because you did something naughty.
Right. Exactly. It's like, no, chores. And I would also speak on the other side of the like the concept of an allowance or like you do chores and so we'll give you an allowance because you help out around the house. It to me that is counterproductive. I feel like because it's this idea of they don't have any stake in the family's mission. It's like they're an external hire, right? It's like you're getting paid for this because you normally wouldn't have like you this wouldn't normally be an outflow of your thing as opposed to being like, no, chores around the house are you pulling your weight. Like
Yep.
it's you helping the family. It's you blessing your sisters and your mother and father and your brothers. And I think having that family vision of like, we're a team and we're working together, and you're starting to learn to shoulder some share of the work. I think that's really healthy with chores. And so paying them for it, I think, is counterproductive. And I think punishing them with it is counterproductive. It's just, and you spoke to that earlier of like casting that vision for like, this is who it helps. This is who it benefits. And it helps our family. And it's like a team pulling together thing, you know?
That, and it helps you in the long run. You know,
exactly.
how many, you know, men are just boys out there who have no idea how to take care of themselves. So they're looking for a wife because they can't even maintain their own house.
Yeah. They can't do laundry. They can't cook. Yeah.
It was like, I think, forgive me if I've told this story before, but
It's fine. I forgive you.
a little while back, I was saying, Lindsay was out of town. She was visiting family.
Yeah.
And, so I was like, all right, guys, we're going to go home. We're going to do this, tidy up, do the laundry, blah, blah, you know. And Henry's like, why are we doing all these girl jobs? And I was like, whoa. I was like, first of all, I didn't tell you that. But no, I was like,
say that around anybody.
I was like, think about it, dude. I was like, think about when you grow up.
Yeah.
I was like, and you move out and you're out there on your own in a house, an apartment or whatever. Who's going to do that for you?
Yeah.
I was like, you're going to be a little baby out there not knowing how to do anything. Like, you want to know how to do this stuff.
Yeah.
You want to be confident in your ability to maintain the basics of life. Like, like that, you can't get married and have a family if you can't even do that. Like,
Right.
Or you shouldn't anyway.
Yeah.
You know, and you see a lot of marriages that are based on that.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh, yeah, the Bible says that the wife should be the servant of the husband. So
Yeah.
I need that. So I have a servant to clean my dishes. And you're like,
Right. Well, yeah, there's a lot wrong with that. It created to be a helpmeet is what it says, you know, like, and it's also, you're also not born with one.
Correct.
Right. And so
Yeah.
like, and on top of that, there's obviously a lot wrong
There's
with
a
that,
million
but
things
yeah,
wrong with it.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I think that's really good is getting that vision for, developing those skills for themselves, but then also helping the family. I do want my son to associate money with work in the sense that I do want him to, and that's another reason why an allowance I think is frequently counterproductive, because it's so vague. It's kind of this like, you just get paid because you are alive and you do some random stuff.
Yeah.
I like it to be more clear and have it be like, this is a job I normally wouldn't ask him to do, or something I would have to do. That would be normally my thing that I would do. And so I'm going to hire him to do it.
Totally.
Right. And so I'll try and create those scenarios too, where it's like, all right, yeah, I'll pay you to do this because this isn't, you know, the flow of the normal household thing. And this is something I normally do. So I'm going to hire you to do it. And I think that can be a good way to incorporate. That way they're earning money specifically by doing a job, as opposed to, I just kind of help out around here sometimes.
Well,
and I'm getting paid vaguely for it. Right.
And if you break down like, well, what does helping out around the house mean? Generally, it's just cleaning up after yourselves.
Yeah.
Like, hey,
we're
going to pay you to clean up after yourself.
It's usually partly their mess.
But no, we do that too, where it's like, you know, hey, Henry, I just bought a bunch of 2x4. It's on the trailer. Do you want to load those into the garage? I'll pay you a couple bucks. Like that kind of thing is like, that's awesome. You know, and it teaches him the satisfaction of like, oh yeah, like I worked hard, I get rewarded for that.
Yeah.
Versus, Henry, your room is a disaster. That's on you.
Right,
I'm not paying you to
right.
be a non-slob.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you're doing the dishes. It's like a lot of those are your dishes, man.
Yeah.
Like, you know, it is, and you're helping the family.
And you got
That's
free
the
dinner
point.
out of the deal.
Yeah, man. Hash.
Hash?
Yeah. Psh.
Oh.
It was like a psh,
Yeah,
you know?
man, hash.
Yeah, man, hash. Yeah.
That's
so,
the new thing kids are saying.
Yeah, totally. All right. Something I've been implementing lately that seemed to really help with the work vision, because I mentioned we've been kind of hitting some rough edges on, you know, just laziness and resistance and just pushback on basic stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
And something that has been really working is actually, I'll shout out a sticky note on my brother Chad's fridge. So I don't know who wrote this, but and I'm sure they got it out of like a book or something. I don't know the source, but it's, as far as I'm concerned, the source is my brother Chad's fridge.
Okay.
And according to my brother Chad's fridge, I saw this thing on 4 types of workers, and I kind of added a little bit to it, but this is the gist. So you have a D-level worker who actively avoids work and finds excuses for why it cannot be done, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this is someone who is just fully resistant to the whole concept and is working hard to get out of work and is like at the first sign of resistance, like, oh, we're out of cleaning material, like supplies, like I guess I can't do it today, and then they just walk away without even mentioning anything, like, and then you come back later and it's not done and they're like, oh, we were out, so I just didn't do it, right?
Yeah.
So it's this person who is actively avoiding work. Then you have C-level worker, which needs to be asked to work, and he works until he thinks he can get away with being done. So it's kind of the idea
bare
of,
minimum.
yeah, bare minimum every time, right? And then you have B worker who asks what needs to be done and does it until it's done well. And then you have an A worker which sees what needs to be done and does it until it's done well. So at the top you've got full initiative. I see this needs to happen. I'm going to actively choose to engage in that and not even need to be asked, and I'm going to crush it until it's done well. And then you have the guy who needs to be asked, and then you have the guy who needs to be asked and then just tries to shy away from it as quickly as possible. And then you have the person who is like, even if you ask them, they're going to just find the fastest way out possible. I just thought that was a really cool framework. So I kind of passed that on to Knightley, and I've been coaching him on it. And it's a really cool shorthand for like, if he's not doing well, I can be like, hey man, like you're being a D level worker right now. Like that was D work, like that was terrible. And it's really cool because he's more than ever before really started to take initiative on things. And it's funny because a couple times it's gone wrong because he's like doing the wrong thing, right? Like he's trying to see what needs to be done, but he's not right about that. So he'll like, but I've been careful to like try and praise him for it anyway, of like, hey, the initiative was rad. You didn't do the right thing because you didn't know what needed to be done. But so you need to clear up the vision on seeing what needs to be done.
Yeah.
But the fact that you saw something you thought needed to be done and you went after it and got after it, like that's phenomenal, right?
That's way more important.
Oh, it's way more important. Yeah, and that's it. I'm like, you're nailing the main thing. You just got to see more clearly what it needs to happen. And so seeing that initiative start to really take place has been a lot of this coaching on this framework, and it's given us a good shorthand for communicating and for praising or correcting. So it's like, dude, that was A-level work, that was awesome. And then just pitching the vision for like why you want to be an A worker, right? Of like, this is the guy who's going to have an awesome life, man. Like you're going to enjoy the work you're doing. You're going to be a blessing to everybody around you. You're going to be the most hireable. You're going to be the guy who's eventually hiring people. Like you're that guy. You're going to be the business owner if you have that mindset,
Well, and that's the kind of work that you can reward.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
exactly.
if it's like, hey guys, we've had to ask you to, pick up after yourselves and clean your room every day this week, like just freaking do it,
Yeah.
But if it's like, dude, this whole week I haven't had to say a word to you and you've just been taking care of all your own stuff, like that's awesome. Let's have a little movie night or something. You know
totally.
what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Like there's nothing wrong with being like, dude, that gets rewarded.
And
like
there's
that.
also a cause and effect there of like, you'll notice like we have more time to have a movie night because everything's done. Like that's awesome. Like you did it. You did great. And so now we have time to play a little. And so that's cool.
Yeah, that was this week. Lindsay has kind of been working with the kids a lot on that. As far as like, hey, like let's just, basically that, John Glenfeld's whole list of 4 workers or whatever.
Is that John Glenfeld?
Nah, I just made that up. But
I said his name like I knew who it was. So is that John Glenfeld?
John Glenfeld. Wow, that guy's such a brilliant guy.
Wow.
He could be a serial killer for all we know.
Yeah, I don't know. Don't know the man.
He would have 3 names if he was.
He did, yeah. John Ryan Glenfield.
That's my middle name, dude.
Yeah,
Easy.
It's just the first thing that came to my mind. Sorry. Anyway.
Point is, Lindsay's been doing that kind of coaching with the kids. We both have, but like as I'm at work a lot, And this week was one of those weeks where she's like, dude, like everything's done. Like the kids have been great. Like this. And so last night we just cut loose. I was like, hey, let's just play some N64. I'll smoke you kids at GoldenEye. And I did.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's, you're totally right. It's like cause and effect. It's, you get to reap the benefits of being an A-list worker when you're an A-list worker.
Yeah,
like
fruits of your labor, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 100%. No, that's awesome. And so, I wanted to share those because I thought they've been getting that idea has been getting a really good result.
I like that, yeah.
Yeah, it's been really cool. And seeing him plug in has been good.
I like the distinction between A and B because there is it's such a blessing when they do come up to you and they're like, hey, like, is there anything else I can help with? It's like, dude, that's freaking cool.
Well, and that'll set them apart,
It does.
Yeah.
And then, like, Henry's been just blowing my mind with that. It's been awesome. But there are those times when he just does something. And you're like, hey, Henry, can you go take care of this? He's like, oh, I just did that. You're like, whoa.
Like, dude.
Like, that is he's a perfect son. No.
Yeah.
But truly there is, I think that's an important distinction too, is like, yeah, you can elevate that, because teaching them to ask for work is awesome. And
Yeah.
I think it's super beneficial for them and for you.
Well, you're climbing the ladder at that point. That's great progress from not asking.
Yeah. But then having them just take the initiative, that's the true leader mentality.
Right.
you
Well,
know?
and it's really cool to have a clear goal like that of like, okay, what we're looking for is exactly this. And even C work is better than D, right? Like even that is better than like actively resisting work. It's like, okay, well, at least I'll comply and do it. It's like, okay, that's a little better. Okay. Far from the goal. And then you get up to B and you're like, hey, this guy's legit. Like, this is a guy you'd want around. Like, that's somebody you'd hire, right?
Yep.
But A is the guy who's going to be hiring people, right? Like, that's the guy who's going to crush it. That's the guy who's going to take initiative, get after it, and like you said, be a leader, right?
Yep.
Like, that's leadership right there. Is A. And so I like that you pointed that out, because that was a big jump out for me too.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's because both do it well. Both finish the job. Both are reliable, right?
Yep.
And that's a big thing that resonated, I think, with Knightley. Is I was talking to him about, I was honest with him. I was like, honestly, dude, at this point, like, if I ask you to do something, one, I'm probably going to have to ask you multiple times. Two, I have about 20% confidence that it will be done at all. Sorry, I was like, I have about 50% confidence it'll be done at all. I have about 20% confidence it'll be done well. Like that, and done to a point where I'm not going to have you redo it. And that sucks, because and I tied it in with trust, because it is tied in with trust of like, I need to trust you to do this. And fortunately with Knightley, we've worked a lot on honesty. So like, I was able to say, I trust your honesty extremely highly, and he knows that. And that's huge. It's like super important to me. It's super important for a relationship. If he's telling me something is true and looks me on and tells me it's true, I believe him. Like, I do at this point. Like, he's earned a lot of trust, because he's been honest when it's been detrimental to him many times. And so we have that, and I'm like, this is also trust. It's a different kind, but I needed trust that you are going to do it, and that you're going to finish it, and that it's going to be work that you can be proud of. And so I think that really resonated, because he really wants to build trust, you know? And so tying it in with trust is, I think, a really powerful tool.
Yeah.
Because you want to be that guy.
And you mentioned, you know, like the idea of like I might have to ask you multiple times. That falls into the whole delayed obedience is disobedience.
That's
thing,
right.
Like,
That's right.
So if they're actively obeying but not obeying,
Right.
and then they do a crappy job, then it completely nullifies what they, you know, even if they took the initiative one time, it totally nullifies it, because they're working in a dishonest manner, a bad work ethic.
Yeah.
Freddie went through a little patch of that. He's 5, but he went through this patch of that where he was like a perfect blend of an A and probably D worker.
Yeah.
Where he'd be like, Dad, I just cleaned my room. And I'd go in there and check it out. And I'm like, oh, right on, buddy. Like, good job. And I go in there and everything's just stuffed under the bed. I'm like, you didn't, though. So now you can't even be proud of that, because you know you didn't do a good job.
Right.
You just made it look clean. The appearance of, you know, of having done a good job.
That's called sucking up. And
Exactly. Which is the opposite of what we're looking for. Like, but that is, funny. I think the trust element is super cool too, because you start to, they get so much confidence out of that.
Oh, big time.
Where they're like, oh, Daddy trusts me.
Yeah.
I can take the initiative and do these things, and he knows that I'm going to do a good job. Like, that's something to hang your hat on. Like,
well, and it ties it in with like, it gives them more pleasure in doing it too. It gives them more vision in doing it, because now they're not just working because like, this is an interruption in my play and I don't know, I have to do it, whatever. They're working because they're going like, oh, I've been entrusted with this task, and I want to honor my father in how I do it, right? And or my mother in how I do it, and ultimately that is convicting to me, because it comes back to my work and my heavenly Father, and I think that's a really good picture of working heartily as unto the Lord, right? It's that, because we say that as Christians a lot, but it's I think practically speaking, it's that, right? It's like, he's entrusted me with work to be done, and I want to honor him in how I do it. Like, I want to stand before him and be able to say, look, like, I did this. Not that our works, you know, whatever, we're not getting the works and salvation, all that stuff. But like, in his calling on your life and the work that he's called you to do, we are called to work heartily as unto the Lord, and I think it is tied in with that same thing of like I want to be faithful in my work to my heavenly Father, right?
Totally.
But and it's really cool because we have an opportunity to create that scenario for our sons.
Yes.
With us.
And there's a couple elements to that heartily unto the Lord verse that I think about that from time to time, as far as, not to get all woo woo, but like to visualize, like, okay, imagining the Lord as my actual boss.
Yeah.
You know, with all things that he's called me to, not just career, but family and everything. Like, he's called me to work hard. And it just really helps shift, like, okay, like the Lord is asking me to do this. He's put this on my plate.
Yeah.
So I'm going to do it for him. Just picturing wanting to be a pleasing worker to your boss, but also understanding that the work that you have before you is a blessing from the Lord.
Yeah.
Every good gift and perfect thing comes from above. So if I have a career that puts food on the table and maintains my family structure, that's a blessing from God.
Yeah, that's
nothing
right.
but.
It's a gift. Yeah.
It's a huge gift. And if I have a wife and 7 kids to take care of and to work through life's problems with, that's a blessing, obviously. Like,
huge.
But it requires a lot of work. But if you're looking at it as like, I have to do this, it's like, no, I get to do this because God has given me this.
Yeah.
So it's a gift, and the giver of that gift has asked me to do a good job with it. It's
Yeah.
like, how can you say no to that? Like,
Right. Well, and that's the definition of stewardship, right? And it's receiving it as a gift and honoring the giver in how you treat the gift, right? And so it's tied in with a lot of the stuff we talk about, and it's just a really tangible example. And so I really like that conversation around bringing trust into it of like I want and then rewarding that and being like, dude, I asked you to do that, you knocked it out of the park, like even verbalizing and showing like that blesses me.
Yeah.
Like, thank you, good job. Like that's the guy you want to be.
Yep.
Like, you're being awesome right now.
Yep.
You know,
and you'll be entrusted with much, which is awesome. Like,
that's it. Now I can trust you with more. Now I can have you do bigger, cooler, things,
Yeah.
and know that you're someone I can rely on.
Yeah.
And that's a insanely cool thing for a father-son relationship.
Yep.
If you can get to a place where you can trust your son to get after it and accomplish things and put in maximum effort and just knock it out of the park, it's gonna make you like him even more too. You know? Like, it's awesome.
beneficial both ways.
Yeah.
I was thinking, well, we talked about, like, I've been reading through Chronicles again and the David's Mighty Men.
Yeah.
And a story that I just didn't really, maybe I just read it way too long ago, but it never really stuck with me until I just reread it, was the chiefs of his mighty men. They're encamped in battle against the Philistines.
Yeah.
David's in the garrison, and he's like, I can't go anywhere. I'm just stuck here because we're in active war.
Yeah.
And it's nighttime, and David's like, man, I would kill for a drink of water, basically. Is,
Yeah.
That's not the actual translation, but he says something along those lines. He's desperately thirsty.
That would be foreshadowing if he actually said that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and then
Yeah.
dun dun dun.
Yeah.
So his 3 mighty men hear him say this.
Yeah.
And I love that's the A-list worker, right?
Right.
Where they're like, oh, our king desires water. And so they sneak into the Philistine camp in the middle of the night, wreak havoc on the place, and get to their well and steal water from the Philistines and bring it back to their king. And they're like, here you go, you were thirsty. And he's like, what? and he dumps it out as a offering to the Lord because he didn't want to drink their lifeblood, because he's like, dude, they risked their lives for me for this. But
Yeah.
I was like, I want to be that guy. I want to be the kind of guy in the service of my king that if he just says, man, I'm thirsty, I want to go and risk my life
Yeah.
and kill a bunch of Philistines to get that goal accomplished.
Yeah.
But that was cooked into them in their upbringing.
Yeah.
These guys didn't just like show up one day and they're like, yeah, we'll do that.
Yeah.
It was like, no, that they were mighty for a reason.
Yeah.
And they were entrusted with much for a reason. David made them his chiefs of his crazy garrison of mighty men because of what they did.
Yeah.
Like, he's like, these guys are the real deal. Their heart is to serve me, and their heart is to honor me and to risk their life and limb for me. And so I want to bless that,
Yeah.
and not the prosperity gig where if you do things, God will bless you. Like, not that.
No,
but
yeah.
it's like, if your heart is truly to serve your king and your wife and your family and those around you and those you work with, you will reap the benefits from that.
Oh yeah. And again, it comes back to the whole the term I love to use, the fabric of reality, right? It's just, it's that idea of like God's created order, and there's just cause and effect, and there's just tremendous natural blessings that flow out of being that guy.
Yep. We always talk about, right, the scriptures are packed with truth for the unbeliever. Like,
Yeah.
like you can go to the Proverbs and model your life after how Solomon recommends, and all of a sudden you're like, wow, I'm finding myself much more successful.
Yeah. What do you know? It works.
Yeah. Who
Yeah.
knew that God's wisdom would be so effective?
God knew.
Yeah.
Well, cool, man. Anything else on the work topic?
Don't listen to country music.
Yeah.
Well, no, obviously a joke, but I think to boil it back down, it's just mindset.
Yeah.
That's what we're doing. We're instilling a mindset in our kids. We're not just doing practical things. We're actually teaching them to think about it critically and practically. And
Yeah.
and that will go so far for everything they do. You know,
Yeah.
I wish I would have paid more attention. We'll say, because like my stepdad Mike is amazing, and he's got a crazy work ethic. Like,
Yeah.
he worked super hard to take our family out of poverty and into a successful life. But I don't. There's nothing. I wouldn't say there's anything in his modeling that I found negative. I think he was great.
Yeah.
And he was very good to not complain, and he just did his work heartily as unto the Lord for us. And I think I wish I would have paid more attention to that.
Well, that's kind of what I was saying too.
You know,
yeah.
because I kind of flip-flopped around for a long time in my early, late teens, early 20s. Like I was just kind of didn't really have any vision.
Yeah.
And I think, looking back, I'm like, man, the Lord has done so much for us, and it's been awesome. But man, there's so many things. I'm like, man, I wish I would have been a little more wise and had my mindset properly adjusted to that mentality. Because I think everything in our lives flows from a solid work ethic.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, largely, yes. Yeah, I agree. And I think that is kind of a takeaway for me, is that modeling the actual hard work is critical, and heartily agree with that. I think even better is modeling the hard work and then also modeling that mindset. And mindset is the right word, but I think, this may be obvious, but I'm going to say it anyway. Having your mindset aligned with truth is critical, right? Because obviously the bad mindset is also a mindset, right? It's having a truthful mindset and understanding what work really is, and the gift that it is, and the blessing that it is, and then living in that yourself, which again is an ongoing goal and struggle for me or whatever. Like it's
Sure.
something that like you have to live out yourself first. Make sure you have that mindset and you're reminding yourself of these truths, and living that out, and then also even in your words and how you're talking about work and how you're talking to them about work and coaching them on it. I think intentional coaching is, especially in today's day and age, I think it's a must. I think a lot of guys this is what I would say is, I think I agree that the most important thing is modeling, and more is caught than taught. Totally agree. That's fundamental. Okay. I think that we're in a day and age where we need to also actively coach our kids, right?
Yeah.
Like we need to our boys, especially. I think we need to actively have these conversations. So it begins with modeling. If you're having the conversations and you're not modeling, obviously that's not going to work. So start with the modeling, but have the conversations too. Have these mindset conversations. Coach them. Be careful and mindful about what you're saying about work around them. And I just wanted to shine a light on the importance of words and mindset in addition to modeling.
Yeah. And just a quick note on that modeling.
Yeah.
Understanding, well, like you said just a minute ago, like it's something we're actively still working on. You know what I mean? And that goes to show that it is, like your dad said, it's your life. Like, it's not, you don't like hit a point where you've arrived.
Yeah.
And then you don't have to work anymore. It's like, okay, even if I had, $10 million to sit on.
Yeah.
That doesn't stop the work of my life.
Yeah.
Like, so modeling, like you never arrive, dude. Like it's always just taking greater and greater forms of responsibility.
Right. 100%. My dad's still a super hard worker, and he's 89 years old.
That is crazy.
And he's still, and that's one of the reasons why he's so vibrant and alive as he is, and so clear-headed as he is. I'm convinced is because he's made good health choices and stuff, but he's also like lived a really hard life and been through a lot physically. I think a lot of it psychologically and spiritually is because he just is still going. Like he still has things he needs to do.
And there were plenty of times in his life that he could have said, "I've arrived. I'm just going to chill on the beach."
Tons of times.
You know what I mean?
He could have been, he could have been quote unquote retired forever ago.
And that's the hard thing to see in like the cop world is like the entire mentality for most guys, not everyone, but
survival.
The general mentality is like get through this 25 years, 30 years, and then I can retire. And I got to tell you, almost all the cops I know that have retired are multiple times divorced, alcoholic, depressed, hate their lives. Yeah. And like, I made it.
Suicidal in many cases,
and they feel like they've arrived finally, but they know they haven't. You know, like I had a conversation the other day with someone that I care dearly about in that profession. And he was just, he's asking me how things are going. And I told him, really good. And he's like, I just can't wait till retirement, man. Things suck, and it's kind of like, dude, like that. Yeah. You're missing the mindset, right?
Well, you're missing your life, dude. Like this is your life. Like it's now. This is the only thing you have control over is now. And how you're thinking and talking and acting and being this is the only control you have at all in what you do is today. So like I just think, what are you going to do? And living, resigning yourself to essentially mental slavery, in pursuit of a goal that is a vapor, right? Like it's going to vaporize as soon as you get it. It's not what you think it is. Retirement is not what people think it is. And I've experienced, like I've done well enough at times that I have had many as in tiny retirements, and they've been the most miserable periods of my life. And it's like I've felt the pain of that illusion. Let's put it that way. Where you're like, oh, I have like a margin of financial freedom, and even that was foolish and short-sighted. But still, I felt like I had financial freedom, and I hated that. It was. And again, there's so much talk about like, oh, you want to get financially free. It's like freedom is only a blessing if it's ordered toward virtue, right? Like if you are free to pursue God's calling on your life, that is so good. And I'm not dissing financial freedom or whatever that idea, but I think it's the way it gets presented so often is a lie, because it's free to do what, free to be what, and if you don't have an answer to that question, you don't want the freedom. Trust me. Like freedom can be a curse if you squander it or if you use it for evil, right? And it's one of those things where it's like, if there were no police and everyone was free, right, to do whatever they wanted, like in society, it's like we would crumble in 2 seconds.
That's not very libertarian of you.
It's not, and I think it's wise though, because it's like, the problem is sin and human nature, and you've got to realize, like, if everybody was perfect, then ultimate freedom for everybody would be great. But I'm glad that there's a lot of people in prisons who aren't free right now to do whatever they want, right? And so I'm a big fan of freedom if it's ordered toward virtue, and if it's ordered toward righteousness, and if it's ordered toward like truth. But if it's not, then freedom can be a curse if you're not walking in those things. Yes. And so I think that ties in with this whole work conversation, obviously. And so I think that's the lie of retirement that so many people have bought, is they want the freedom, but they don't know what they want to do with it. Like you said, a dog chasing a car. And ultimately, like, it's more dangerous than people realize, I think. Yeah. Because that way lies madness, man.
Yeah. Well, it lies madness, and then the path to it lies madness, because, again, back to mindset. If your mindset is this far off goal of financial freedom, and that's going to fix all your problems, man, the grind to get there is going to be just as depressing as the fall.
Right. Yeah, no, and talk about a lose-lose, man. You're just living in misery so that you can attain what you think is comfort, which ends up being a worse misery.
Which I think is a bad thing to model to our sons.
Yeah, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that, man. I don't want to. And I think on the positive note, life is good, man. Work is good, and getting things done is great, and building things is great, and making money can be great, and providing for your family is great, and life is now. Live it, get after it, enjoy it, have a truthful mindset, and freaking teach your sons to do the same, because life can be awesome while you're working the whole time, and it should be.
Life can be dream.
Life can be dream. Thank you, Derek Vachon.
We're all